everyone, welcome back. If you're watching this in real time, it likely means that you could have survived a Halloween celebration at your school on Friday. We had ours on Friday and the kids had tons of fun. Even in these COVID times, we did a virtual parade. Everyone got to see everyone's costumes. It was a great time had by all. But now we're back for the next episode of Best Part of My Week, where I share with you my favorite things to teach and my students' favorite things to learn. If you're new around here, hi, my name is Miss Jana. I teach kindergarten to grade 5 music, and I'm also a teacher, paid teacher, author. My goal with these videos and my entire teacher shop is to just make your lives a little bit easier, provide you with ideas and tips and lesson plans that help eliminate the hashtag teacher tired. So that's what we're here to do. This week we are talking about a whole bunch of different things that I did in my class. So let's get right on into it. Alright, so we are talking about improvisation in my grade 5 music, best part of my week. We just started talking about improvisation today, and I think that I'm very lucky that I teach this in grade 5 because my kids are still very willing to please, and they still want to show off. They don't think of the opportunity to play by themselves as something to be feared. They think of it as an opportunity to show what they know. So it's great because they enjoy it. They buy in pretty easily with the whole improvisation thing. So how I start teaching improvisation is I play a pattern, and this time I did it on the drums. I've also done it on the xylophones before, as I just play a pattern with them and then they echo it, and we do like echo patterns for a while. And then what I tell them is I'm going to play something and then you're going to play something, and it's not going to be the same thing that I played. So I'll just play a pattern and then they play a pattern. And sometimes I have ones that last 1 beat, that last 4 beats, that last 8 beats, and that would still be playing today if I didn't tell them to stop. So then I say, okay, we're going to have one rule with what you play. Your pattern must be 8 beats long. So this also shows me which of my students can count beats and create something at the same time, which is always interesting. And that's our one rule to start with. So then they come up with the patterns. We do that likely 5 or 6 times, and then I say, okay, what did you think about when you were making your patterns? And some say, well, I listened to what you played and then I did something different. Some said, I wanted to be the loudest one out there, so I played the loudest. Some said, oh, I thought about using tas and titis in my pattern. Some said, oh, I thought about putting a rest in my pattern. And as they're giving me all these ideas, I write them all on the board. And then when they've given all the ideas, I say, okay, what you did was improvising. You made up something on your own that you shared with the rest of us. You made it up in real time. You didn't practice, you just did it. And I'm like, oh, interesting. And then this, if they're going to get a little self-conscious about it, this is usually when it happens, but sometimes it doesn't. So then I said, okay, now we're going to have the turn to improvise in a song. And we had been playing Bucket of Bones from Music Kid 8 a lot. I talked about that in last week's video. So the form for Bucket of Bones is A, B, A. And in the B section, there is actually a written out part. Like you're just supposed to continue on with the ensemble. But how I chose to do it is I made that an improvisation section. And I had 2 kids improvise it in it. It was about 8 measures that they improvised for. So I asked for volunteers, and then they just went at it. And then they really realized that they're playing by themselves and what they're creating. And then I had someone ask, well, what do I play? I said, well, what did you play when we did what we did before? You just make something up. And you play and you make something up until I tell you to switch. And some were super, super, super keen on it and came up with lots of ideas. And then some were more hesitant but still volunteered. And then they just would play the rhythm for the rest of the song, which is great. I just wanted to expose them to it. I had no expectations. I was curious to see who was willing to take the risk and improvise, and it wasn't a surprise to me who did it, but that is how we started improvising. The reason why I did it on the drums this time, I said that I have done it on the xylophones before, but the reason I did it on the drums is because this year I'm teaching a 4/5. So just doing it on the drums, they just had to worry about rhythms. When I've done it on the xylophones or the glockenspiels before, I have put it in pentatonic so that everything would sound good. But I'm starting it earlier this year than I did last year. And and I just wanted them to have to focus on one thing. I remember when I was learning to improvise, if you told me I could improvise on one note, that would be a lot easier than having to play all of the notes. So that's when we just focused on the rhythm, and we did it on the drums, and they really couldn't sound bad. Not that you can sound bad where you improvise, but they didn't have to worry about what notes to play. So I thought that was a way to make it really accessible for them, and I'm glad I did it that way because I think they felt more comfortable with it. All right, next we go to 3/4 music, and what I want to share in 3/4 music is a game that I played with my kids this week, and it's called Detective. And you can do this both as a rhythm game and as a solfege game, and it's similar to it's a similar idea to poison rhythm, poison solfege. But how it works is you can do it 2 ways. The way that I did it with my 3/4s is I put melodic flashcards on the board, and I just used magnets and put them on my whiteboard, and then I would sing a pattern, and then the students would have to guess what pattern, well, not guess, they'd have to tell me what pattern I sang. So I went mi, so, mi, mi, and they would say, oh, you sung pattern number 1, or so, so, mi, mi, oh, pattern number 2. And then, so I started them with 3 patterns, and then we went to 5. And when I first did it with the melodic cards, I did it all as one type of, show them one thing, because in my melodic card set, I have 3. And then as they got better with it, I switched it up. So they might have had one, they might have had 3 different ways to see the pattern. And it told me what students can read patterns and know and connect what I'm singing to what they see. It also showed me that my students don't know yet their hand signs well enough to play the game this way. So this way, that's upside down. This way, no problem. This way was a little bit harder, but when I put all the hand sign ones up, they didn't really know what to do. So that was a great tip for me as to what we need to go next, where we need to go next for solfege. And it also showed me, I took the data in for assessment of what kids can hear a pattern and identify what the pattern is. And then we switched it up, and the kids had the turn to be the robber, is what we called it, the person who sings the pattern. And then that gave me good feedback on who is able to read patterns, who's able to sing the pitches on patterns, and all of that good stuff. And the kids loved it. They were like, oh, number 3 is quite suspicious. And so it was neat to watch them do it. I think it's going to be a game that I put in centers when I do centers with my 3/4s, because it's a great way to practice reading and identifying and singing patterns all in one go, which is great. I love activities like that. All right, now we go to grade 1 and 2. And this week it was super exciting because they got to do centers for the very first time. Last year, when it was my first year in the position, I did centers with my 3/4s, but I did not do them any younger than that. I just wanted to experiment with it. But this year I decided to do it with my 1s and 2s. Their teachers use a lot of centers, so it made sense to do it with them. So we had 4 centers, and one of the centers we had was Write the Room. And I used the fall Write the Room, which was in my Teacher Pay Teacher shop, which I will link down below. It's been super popular lately. I have one that's for solfege and one that is for rhythm. And I did the rhythm one with them. And I did version 2 of the rhythm one with them. So around the room, I hid cards that look like this. And then I gave them a recording sheet, and it was their job to walk around the room and find the cards and determine if it was a ta word or a tt word. So how I have taught rhythm, introduced rhythm, is through words. So apple, apple, we clap it. How many sounds? 2. What note has 2 sounds? tt. So that on their sheet, under the tt column, they would write the word apple. Here's another one that we had. Leaf. So they had to figure out that leaf had 1 sound, and then write leaf under the ta or the quarter note column. They really, really liked this. They thought it was a scavenger hunt. I had an inkling that it would be a good center to do with them. I know some of my teaching colleagues have done Write the Room before, and the kids love it. It gets them up, it gets them moving. It's a great, great, great activity. However, it does need some, especially this rhythm one, it does need some pre-teaching. Like, you need to make sure that your kids know that leaf is a ta word. So it does need that pre-teaching. However, in the Write the Room product, there is one like this. And then there's also one, so this is version 2. There's also one that has it already written down. So if you just wanted to expose the students to them, you could do that. And then there is also version 3, which just has the pictures and then a rhythm pattern beside it. That then the students can just practice clapping and saying the rhythm pattern and then recording it on their sheet. So there's lots of options with that. And like I said, they've been super popular going out of my TPT store. Like within the last 10 days, lots of them could have gone out. So if you are someone that has purchased one of those, I would love to hear how it's working in your classroom, because my students really, really enjoyed them. I have a fall one up there right now and a Thanksgiving one that's just in solfege. The fall one is in rhythm and solfege. The Thanksgiving one is just in solfege, but hopefully before Thanksgiving I will get it put up in the rhythm one too, and then there'll be more to come. I've just kind of been doing them as the seasons have came, and yeah, super popular with my kids, so go check those out. Link down below for you to go see. Alright, and then we go to kindergarten. In kindergarten, I have been doing lots with alphabet right now to kind of reinforce what's happening in the classroom. So we read the book, There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed Some Letters. I'll try to find the link for it below, and I'll put a picture of the cover in with the video. It's a great book, and it's not like the other old ladies where she swallows something else. She just talks about swallowing all the letters, and then it gives examples for each letter. So like, I think there was an old lady who swallowed an A for airplane, an acorn, an apple, and then I added in the kid's name. So there was an old lady who swallowed an A. A is for airplane, an apple, an acorn, and Abigail. And the kids were like, oh, my name's in the book. And I think they realized that their names weren't actually in the book, but it was neat to see as we got through the book that the kids were picking out on whose name would go with the letter. So then say we got to K. There was an old lady who swallowed a K for kite and kangaroo and Katie. So they came up that they were able to beat me to it, actually, because I was trying to figure it out, whose name started with each letter. So that was a super fun activity. I love using books in my kindergarten music class. My classes are 35 minutes. So for kindergarten, I almost need to have a book in there just to give them that little hook, give them a little break, help them refocus, all of that sort of fun stuff. And then with that, we have also been doing Jack Hartman's ABC Cha-Cha-Cha, and I will try to find a link for it below, or a link for the album that it's in, which the kids love. They ask me as soon as they walk in, are we doing Cha-Cha-Cha today? And so it's just the ABC song, and then I give them egg shakers to go with it. So we practice keeping the beat with the song and playing Cha-Cha-Cha. Super, super fun activity for all involved. So I'll try to find links for both of those to put them down below for you. So that concludes this week's video. Before I officially sign off, I want to give you one more teaching tip that I started using this week, and it's too good not to share. And that's when the kids come in. So they're coming in chatty, and this week was Halloween week, so I'm attributing some of it to that. So they come in, they go to their music spots, they know that that's the routine, and then I'm usually at the door giving everyone hand sanitizer because COVID. So they're often talking by the time I get into the classroom. So what I do is I sit down in my chair and I say, if you can hear me, do a quiet, calming breath. Something else, please. And then I do as many as I need. I shut them on my fingers. We did have to talk about what it means to have a quiet, calming breath, because the first couple times I was getting, it was, if you can hear me, have a quiet, calming breath. This is what I'm getting. I'm like, no. That's not what I want. That is not calm. So then I put in the word quiet. And it just helps bring it down, bring their focus up. And then I'm also doing that before they leave. So when we clean up from an activity, especially if it was one of those times, I'm sure you know, it's like class is done at 9:30, we're cleaning up at 9:29, the teacher's waiting outside, so is my other class. I still try to take the minute, it's not even a minute, 15 seconds, to a quiet, calming breath. Thank you for a good class. I'll see you next time. I'm liking it already. I will keep you posted as to how it goes, but so far, so good. It's going very well. So thank you for watching this week's video. If you found what I shared helpful or useful, or you want to save it for later so that you can come back to it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share so that you get notified when the other videos come out and that other teachers can find my videos. But that's all for now. I hope you had a wonderful Halloween week and that your next week is great as well. Until next time, bye for now.